Hi, and welcome to a workshop on test preparation and study skills brought to you by the Academic Resource Center at Georgetown University. Preparation and good study habits and techniques are key when preparing for an exam or a quiz. This workshop will go over tools and guidance for continuous systematic review and study skills and tips for taking an exam. In order to make sure that you understand class material, you need to touch it and review it every day. This means that time management and scheduling needs to be on the top of your list when it comes to planning. Scheduling time to review your class notes, make flashcards, or look at notes from your reading helps keep the material fresh in your mind. If you need help focusing on your reading or working on your time management, please check out the other workshops we have posted on time management and managing your reading load. One method that students find very helpful is to review their class notes as soon as possible after class. This will allow you to circle any important information, start making flashcards or study guides, or identify concepts that you really don't understand. For the things that you don't understand, you'll want to reach out to your professor or a classmate to set up a time to review the concept and to ask your questions. When preparing for an exam, it's helpful to think of what tools you have available to you. Start by identifying the physical things you have to inform your studying. These things might include things like PowerPoints, class notes, reading notes, returned quizzes, homework problems, discussion boards, books, and textbook questions, just to name a few. Then you can look at what outside aids are available. Is there tutoring available? Does the professor have office hours? Can you form a study group with the class? Is the professor or the TA coordinating a review session? All of these things are essential when looking at your pool of resources for studying. When utilizing your outside aids, the key is to plan ahead. You'll want to contact your professor in advance, bring specific questions to office hours, and talk to your professor directly about the challenges that you are facing in the classroom and in your test preparation. Your professor might have some great ideas on how you can prepare for the exam. They are the best person to ask when you're in your preparation phase. With all of that information, you can begin your study prep. First, you will need to know what the exam will cover. The best way to find that out is to look on your syllabus or ask the professor. Is it cumulative? Are you going to be covering everything from the beginning of the semester or just since the last exam? Those are great questions to ask. You may want to create a study guide. Sometimes rewriting the information and saying it out loud can help commit it to memory. Create practice problems or questions. Use visual mapping techniques. One visual mapping technique that students really like is putting the main idea or concept in the center of a circle and branching out the ideas to the sides. In this activity, you'd write down all the concepts related to the main idea or everything you know about that main idea or concept. You can also use flashcards with pictures or words. That's another great way to prepare, and you can carry those around with you everywhere you go. There's even a great website and app called Quizlet that students are using now for flashcards. I encourage you to utilize technology in your preparation. That can be really handy. Teaching somebody else the material is a great way to demonstrate your knowledge too. Try and find a person in the class to work with or form a study group. A great way to keep yourselves on track in a study group is to assign specific chapters or themes that each person is responsible for. This way, everyone is coming to the study session with something prepared to share. Self-testing is a great way to prepare for an exam. Predicting possible test questions and utilizing other forms of self-testing is the key to mastering the material. You'd want to cover up your answers to your questions and go through and quiz yourself. If you're preparing for an exam where you need to do lots of identifications, you might want to consider using blank picture for the identifications. Creating a timeline and covering up the dates and significant names is another way to quiz yourself. Think about that time before the exam. Studying every day and continually reviewing your lecture notes and reading assignments can really help you build up to taking that exam. Plan out a schedule for yourself. If this is something you struggle with, you may want to watch our time management workshop to get some tips. Please remember to get enough sleep and to eat something healthy. Wear clothes that won't be restrictive on your exam day. Leave your books and materials at home. Trust your training. You may want to consider bringing a watch to help you keep track of time, as professors will most likely not let you use your phone. During the exam, I recommend using the DITER method. The D in DITER stands for directions. You want to start out by reading all of the directions first and asking the professor if there is something that is unclear. E stands for examine. Look over the whole test to see what the material looks like. This way you can break it down into manageable tasks, and you can be more knowledgeable about what's coming up in the exam so there are no surprises. The T stands for time. Once you have examined the entire test, figure out how much time you need to spend on each of the items. E stands for easiest. This section reminds you to answer the easiest question first. R stands for review. If you have planned your time correctly, you can take time to review the answers on the exam and make sure you have completed all of the questions. Using the DITER method can be very helpful, and it's just something to remember when you sit down to take your next exam. Different types of exams require different approaches. We're going to go over some guidelines for taking multiple choice tests now. The first thing is to circle or underline important words in the item. This will help you focus on the information most needed to identify the correct answer choice. You should always read all of the answer choices before selecting one. It is just as likely for the last answer choice to be correct as the first. Cross out the answer choices you are certain are not correct. This will help you narrow down the correct answer choice. Look for two answer choices that are opposites. One of these two answer choices is likely to be correct. Look for hints about the correct answer choice in other items on the test. The correct answer choice may be a part of another item on the test. Look for answer choices that contain language used by your teacher or found in textbooks. An answer choice that contains such language is usually the correct answer. Do not change your initial answer unless you are sure another answer choice is correct. More often than not, your first choice is correct. Choose all of the above if you're certain that all other answer choices in the item are correct. Do not choose all of the above if even just one of the other answer choices is correct. Choose none of the above if you are certain all other answer choices in the item are incorrect. Do not choose none of the above even if just one of the other answer choices is correct. Knowing how multiple choice items are constructed and using these guidelines will help you improve your score on a multiple choice exam. When taking a true-false exam, choose true for an item only when you are sure that the entire statement is true. Be careful when a statement contains a negative word such as not or a negative prefix such as un, like in the word unfriendly. A negative word completely changes the meaning of the statement. When a statement contains two negative words or prefixes, cross out both. Two negatives typically make a positive, but can be confusing when read as a double negative. Good preparation can help us mitigate any feelings of anxiety that we have leading up to and during an exam. Here are some things we can do to reduce test anxiety. First of all, get a good night's rest. Don't try and stay up all night. You're likely to be irritable and distracted by the time of the exam. Eat a moderate breakfast or lunch. Avoid caffeinating yourself and stay away from unnatural sugars and carbs. Get to the exam room a few minutes early. Familiarize yourself with the room. Put on some calming music and listen to that. Try and stay away from talking to your friends about the exam right before going into the exam. The other thing you can do is look for a good spot in the classroom. Maybe you want to sit up in the front so that you don't have to be distracted by people flipping pages throughout the exam time. Budget your time. Estimate the amount of time you need for each question. Utilize the DITER strategies that we talked about before. Don't create disastrous scenarios for yourself or put your whole future on the line during a single test. Learn to imagine yourself remaining in control. Use your imagination in a positive way and cast yourself in the role of a winner, not a loser. Learn to recognize why you become anxious. Recognize that some thoughts are negative and self-defeating. For each emotional thought, come up with a rational counter thought. That can be really helpful in keeping you on track and reframing the situation when you feel yourself starting to lose control. If you find yourself in a position during an exam where you feel yourself starting to get anxious, stop. Put your pen down. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath and refocus. Sometimes repositioning yourself and sitting up straighter can help. You might also want to smile and take another deep breath. Smiling can help boost the endorphins in your brain and can cast a positive light on the task. So next time you're feeling stressed or anxious, try smiling and remember to breathe. Remember that preparation can help in mitigating your stress. Make sure you're using all the campus resources that you have available. Ask your professor or your TA if there's tutoring available for that subject. Check out the Academic Resource Center website, academicsupport.georgetown.edu, for a list of tutoring services and other campus resources. Use the Writing Center if you're writing a paper. The library also has a series of workshops that are available to students that's on their website. Come to an Academic Resource Center in-person workshop or do the ARC workshops online. The biggest thing to remember is that your professors are your best resource when preparing for an exam. Talk to your professors, ask them questions. That's what they're there for. Here's the contact information for the Academic Resource Center. You can email or call the Academic Resource Center at any time. We're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 p.m. You can also check out our website to see other workshops or to see a schedule for the in-person workshops. The website is academicsupport.georgetown.edu.